Who are the SI-7? The SI-7, SI standing for Stormwind Intelligence, are Stormwind's elite, mainly composing of rogues specializing in assassination and stealth. The SI-7 are usually dispatched to the most discreet of missions that have no room for error. These missions range from spying on the Defias Brotherhood to see if any of them are putting any plans in motion to attack and or take over Stormwind from within, recovering information from the Horde and possibly tracking down Horde spies and killing them before they can deliver information to their superiors, and even infiltrating major cities in order to instigate coups. However, we will get more into that one later. In addition to carrying out assassination missions, however, the SI are the main source from which Varian receives information, and in fact, the main agency of intelligence for the entire Alliance in general. Led by Matthias Shaw, a skillful and brilliant operative and also the leader of Stormwind's Assassin Guild, the SI under his leadership is at its peak, truly living up to the reputation of Stormwind's elite, and known and feared amongst many of the Horde as it should be. Matthias was literally born and bred to be an assassinating machine. Ever since he was an infant, his grandma, Pathonia Shaw, who was the founder of the Assassin's Guild, had tested his speed and dexterity constantly. However, in addition to making sure he was in the best physical shape possible, she also made it very clear that they did what they did for the Alliance. In their line of work, sometimes doing what is right and doing what is necessary are more often than not very different things. But it was her ultimate goal to pass on her characteristics to her grandson. Only do the dirty work that the Alliance has officially approved of. One does not steal from the hand that feeds. If the thrill of stolen goods and the secret to kill was not good enough for thieves, then they would not be initiated into the guild. The steady salary part is probably the reason why goblins are even in the SI to begin with. Anyways guys, going back to Matthias Shaw, he was undoubtedly one of the most qualified individuals to take up the mantle of leading the SI. Not only was he skilled when it came to combat, but the loyalty embedded into him by his grandmother made him the perfect individual to take up the position. In addition to this, even though he was the main leader, he also had numerous groups of assassins that also counseled him. This leadership circle of advisors consisted of about 30 veteran rogues who had been embarked on many missions prior to Matthias becoming leader, and who were greatly fond of Pathonia herself. Since they knew of the famed assassin, they were familiar with her morals and how she would have wanted the organization to be run, and so they often helped to steer Matthias into the correct path whenever he was in a difficult position. Matthias and these groups of leaders are known as the thumb of the hand. The next two fingers are made up of the highest and most experienced level members, consisting of about 500 operatives per finger. The first of the two fingers is the highest rank that a member could obtain before they themselves are promoted into the thumb. These members are the best of the best when it comes to assassination. The second of the two fingers is not called to action often, but when they are, they hold just as much responsibility as any other finger above them, perhaps even more. Their job is to recover extremely powerful artifacts that are in the possession of someone without outright killing them. So they basically steal artifacts from people without killing them. The third finger is mainly spies. They read and remember texts and scrolls without having to steal them, serving as lookouts while their other peers carry out their respective roles. Finally, the fourth finger. This last finger makes up the largest but also the lowest ranking members of the SI. Consisting of over 1,000 members, this branch of operatives are in charge of recruitment as well as concealing the identities of not only themselves but their peers as well. Together, they make up the thumb and the four fingers, which form a hand, which they themselves, the Assassin's Guild and the SI, view themselves as a hand wielding a dagger. So now we know of the layout of the organization, but let's see one of their missions and how skilled these guys actually are. Before the events of the Cataclysm, Moira, the daughter to Magni, took control of Ironforge and then began to hold the entire city hostage, including Varian's very own son. Pretty damn pissed off by this, Varian alongside 18 SI agents journey to Ironforge with the intent of assassinating Moira. However, as skilled of a fighter as Varian was, he himself said that he was the weakest link in the operation. Thankfully though, to his acute instincts, he was able to identify his comrades, but if he were unaware of his surroundings, he would not even see them, since they were as stealthy as the shadows themselves, never even making a sound. While making the journey to the throne room, numerous Dark Iron dwarves were slaughtered with ease, many of them dying by the hands of the SI before Varian could even draw his swords. At one point, he even saw one of the agents, a gnome named Brink, scratch his head and yawn after he had slit the throat of a dwarf. This was in the middle of a mission, with guards around every corner and the dude's just yawning. If you clicked on the dude in-game, he wouldn't say "My, you're a tall one," he'd say "My, you're a dead-ass bitch." Anyways, the mission carries out successfully and numerous Dark Iron are dead, while the assassins suffered no casualties. This was a mission to infiltrate Ironforge, and they had no problem carrying out swiftly and effectively without having their numbers falter. These dudes are no people that you'd want to be enemies with. Anyways guys, that is it to the video. If you wish to have any other factions, groups, or races, or whatever you want to be covered, put them down below and I'll see it done. With that having said guys, thank you so much for watching, peace out, take care, and like always, have a good one.